Hi, I'm Jan. Welcome to your yoga. This is your yoga from home. This is your MF practice. This is your mobility and flexibility practice. We are 316 Yoga. That's Piper and Bonnie back there. And I am glad that you are here. This is a 1 hour long practice. You will be stronger. You will be better off for it. Stick around. But you're thinking, oh my gosh, an hour is a long time. Can't do an hour? No big deal. Stick around for just 10 minutes. It's all good. The biggest thing is you're doing it from home. Nobody's judging you. Don't be hard on you. And you do it your way. The bottom of our screen says, do what's right for your body. And that's really, really important. You've got to do what's right for you. Not every pose is going to be taken to 100%. Not every pose is going to look the same way I do it, or the way you do it, or the way anybody does it. You do it your way and just feel good in your body. The yoga pose is right when it doesn't hurt. Don't let anything hurt. The yoga pose is right when it feels good for you. Just try. Give it a try. It's your yoga, your way. Just try. You'll see the immediate results too, and we'll measure that by a stress number, and I'll tell you about that in just a moment. But the word to think about as you practice today is a good one, is believe. Just believe that you can do it. Have confidence in you and in your ability. Why not? Believe you can do it, because you're going to define what it is. You're going to need some props for the practice. It's always nice to have some water, so have that nearby. 2 yoga blocks. We're going to use them a good amount today. If you don't have 2 yoga blocks, buy them, because you're going to come back tomorrow. Please do that. If you don't have yoga blocks, a nice thick book or something like that, but something good and sturdy. Yoga strap, a lot of people use those. We use them sometimes. I'm not going to use it today, but if you like to use it and it's in your practice, grab it and have it handy. An eye shade, a little towel, let's get started. All right, so come on up to standing. Now, as you're coming up to standing, you could have a chair nearby too. That's good for balance. As we come on up to standing, lock a stress number into your head. All right, we're going to come back to it at the end. Scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10. Where are you right now? How do you feel in your body? Is anything tight? Just give it a number and then let it go. Remember the number and we'll come back to it. Let's do a little warm up. All right, so spread your legs a little bit so your hips are a little wider than hip width distance. Hands on your hips, elbows back, chest is lifted. Put a smile on your face because you're doing something good for you. And start to come up onto your toes. And here's a good little saying to remember, you'll never reach your destination if you don't leave the shore. You gotta try, you gotta get into it. Trying can be a little, trying can be a lot. You define the amount of effort you're putting in, but just do. All right, so you're lifting up your heels, coming down on your flat feet. As you come down, maybe roll onto the heels and lift your toes up and give them a wiggle. Try to keep your heels directly behind your toes. Don't let them splay out to the sides or be shaky or wobbly. Find your balance. Big breath in through your nose if you can, and a big breath out through your mouth. Sigh it out. Make it audible. You're practicing at home. Nobody's hearing you. It's known, it's a fact, that when you sigh it out, you get rid of some stress. Lift out of the chest. Breathe. How are your calves feeling? They're awake, right? Your foundation, so important to keep your ankles, your feet, your foundation strong. You're wiggling the toes periodically. Do that. And then settle into your feet. Lift your arms high up to the sky. Take a pose called Extended Mountain. How do your calves feel? Mine are feeling it. Reach through your fingertips. Look up to the sky. And then bring your gaze forward and think of your shoulders, your shoulder blades settling back and down in little shoulder pockets. Breathe here. Lengthen up. This is called Extended Mountain. When you're ready, take a little back bend. Lean the fingers, reach the fingers toward the back of the room, or, if you like, place your hands on your hips or behind your low back. That kind of feels good, nice and steady. Gaze up overhead, squeeze the elbows back. If you've got your hands on your hips, reach to the back of the room. If that feels good, you don't have to go very far. Inhale back up to your extended mountain. Exhale, bring your hands to prayer center and fold forward at your waist. Fingers toward the earth. They don't have to reach. You decide. Maybe put a little wiggle in your knees. Think of space. Think of your hips going to the side of the room. Your belly comes down between your hips. Little bend in your knees. Fold in half. So you're decompressing your spine. Shake your head, shake your neck, let it go. Just loosen up. Good to be loosened up, right? Little wiggle in the knees. Inhale, sweep your arms on up. Come on back up to Tadasana, extended mountain. Interlace your fingers, palms high up to the sky. Start to sway from side to side in your palm tree pose. Keep your feet equally planted on the ground and just enjoy this sideways movement of your spine. Breathe. Chin away from your chest, swaying from side to side. You know, if balance is an issue, always have a chair nearby. You could bring a hand down to the back of your chair. Breathe. And you don't have to take it very deep. Everybody's taking it to a different level of depth. Monday's practice, we're just kind of welcoming the week. We're taking it a little bit easy. Other days of the week, every day is different. Come back every day and check us out. All right, come on back to the midline of your body. Send your palms up to the sky. Look up there. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. You know, the first step is always the hardest. Bring your arms down by your sides. Start to do arm circles. First step is always the hardest of whatever you do, isn't it? It's just getting off the dime and moving. All right, go ahead as your arm circles get bigger. Or maybe not. Put a bend in your knees. When the fingers come down, knees come down. Straighten the legs when the hands go up. Wake up your knees, maybe not much. You know how much they need to be awakened. Maybe take it quite a bit down. Breathing, that's the most important part. This is your little warm-up. Go ahead, take your arm circles in the other direction. And maybe the warm-up is all you have time for today. Just do a little bit of something. How are your knees doing? Can you take it a little bit lower? How are the arm circles coming? Can you take them a little bit bigger? Breathe. Breathe. And then finish. Come on up to standing. How are you feeling? Getting invigorated yet? I bet you are. Shoulders down, fingers, imagine they're really super heavy. And then start to sway from side to side, putting a nice little twist in your waist. All right, lots of ways to take this. Maybe a stance that's a little bit wider, feels more stable. You decide what you like. Look over your shoulder, really look. Use your eyes, look really far over the shoulder. Maybe challenge your balance by closing your eyes. Maybe that's good for you today. Just take it easy. Just move. How's the twist coming? Think of really twisting. Arms are still heavy. You're tapping one hip, tapping your backside. Breathe. Big inhale. Big exhale. We're taking a little bit longer on our warm-up today just because it's Monday, just because we're getting back into the swing of things. All right, as you're ready, slow it on down. Bring it on back to the midline and let's do ragdoll. This is a great pose for your low back. All right, hips, feet, a little wider than hip width distance apart. Hands, like those I Dream a Genie arms. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of your head, root into your feet. And as you audibly sigh it out, hinge forward. Hinge forward. Hands are at opposite elbow creases. Backs of your legs, I bet, are tight. Mine are. Put a little bend in your knees. Let your belly be between your hips. Let it go. Crown of your head toward the earth. Look to your knees, and then maybe look up toward your belly button. Low back is decompressing. Wiggle your knees a little bit if you feel tense in your hamstrings. Just, no reason to worry. Just feel what feels good. Maybe you put a little bend in your knees and you keep it there. Big breath in. Your belly kind of rises up off the thighs. And big breath out. Start to sway gently from side to side. Ooh, you feel this in your low back, don't you? Let it feel good. You're decompressing your low back. Head is hanging heavy. Give it an extra little wiggle. Space in your low back. And this is your ragdoll pose. Do this periodically throughout your day. After you've been sitting for a long period of time, stand up and do your ragdoll. Breathe. and just feel good. I bet that stress number's coming down already. Finish up with your swaying of the arms. Come back to the center of your body, the midline. Send your gaze back up towards your belly button again and just hang out here for a second. Release your fingers to the mat. Shake your neck. And let's come on down to a child's pose. I got a little different variation for you today. Come on down to your knees. Take your 2 blocks up to the top of your mat at a stable height. Just take a breath for a second. How are you feeling? Pretty good, huh? All right, you got this. Let's do this. All right, so we've done our little warm-up. Let's place our blocks at a stable height at the top of your mat. Spread your knees a little bit. Send your tailbone up to the sky. Put your hands on your blocks and slide your blocks forward. Sink on down, feeling this in the shoulders. If you don't have blocks or this doesn't feel okay for your shoulders, easy solution. Get rid of the blocks and sink your bottom back more towards your heels. And if you don't like this variation of child's pose, you know, sometimes we do a classic child's pose. I'll tell you how to do that. If you prefer, you would have your knees together at the midline. The big toes are still touching, and you're going to let your arms be down by your sides with your palms face up. And you're going to imagine your fingers reaching toward the bottom of your mat. That's a fine variation that maybe you'd like to take today. So my hands are pressed into the block. I'm getting more into the shoulders. My forehead is down on the block, or on the mat. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. So I'm finding length in my spine, from the tailbone reaching to the back of my room, to the crown of my head reaching to the front. Maybe you would like to wiggle your knees a little wider apart. You know, just nestle in here. This is called child's pose, a pose of surrender. Think of just chilling out and just being. Big breath in and big breath out. Now you can engage your Ujjayi pranayama breath if you want. To do that, you would close your lips and breathe in and out of your nose only. This will help you build heat in your body and stay focused on your breath. And stay focused on the present moment. Letting the outside world go. Boy, that sounds good, doesn't it? And just focusing on you. Big breath in and big breath out. And you know, if keeping your mouth closed is kind of hard, breathe any way you want. Of course, my goodness, breathe whatever feels good. But try to keep your inhales and exhales really long. If you find your breath is shallow, it means you're kind of working too hard and you're stressing out. And yoga is not meant to stress you out. How are your shoulders feeling? All right, let's take this child's pose into a puppy pose. So basically, all you're going to do is you're going to kind of send your tailbone more up to the sky. Draw your legs in a little bit. Maybe push the blocks a little more forward. And this time, think of, instead of just your forehead coming down, think of your chest coming down to the mat. So your tailbone is lifted to the sky. So your hips are kind of over your knees. Forehead works toward the earth. Ooh, are you feeling it in the shoulders? Pretty intense, huh? You know, maybe work the knees a little more apart as you try to get your chest down. Maybe it feels good to have the knees a little more in. But just focus on the chest. Coming down, down, down. It helps to think of your shoulders broadening. Push into your straight arms, either into the mat or into the block. Tailbone lifted. Maybe shift your hips a little more forward over the knees. Breathe. And let's come out of puppy pose. That feels good. Come on up. Slide your blocks back towards your body. How do your shoulders feel? Come to have a seat on your heels. How do your shoulders feel? Nice and open, right? All right, since we're halfway here, let's take this to toes pose. Bend your toes, or what are these things? Your ankles. Bend your ankles so your toes are closer to your shins. Have a seat on your heels or have a seat on your block. Lots of variations for toes pose. You take what you want. I'm going to take the variation today where I sit on the block. I'm going to take my hands. You can have them at prayer center, or I'm going to bring them behind my back since my shoulders are so open now. Bring them behind my back. Reach for opposite elbow creases. Shoulders are down, away from the ears. I'm going to bring my hips over my shoulders over my hips, and my hips are over my shoulders. That would be interesting. All right. Settle in here. It's intense in the toes. It's intense in the feet. If it doesn't feel right, if it feels painful, come out of it. If it feels just uncomfortable, you can distinguish between pain and discomfort. Nestle in, maybe hinge a little more forward to take the weight out of the toes, but just know that you are doing good things for your foundation here. As you soften in your shoulders, maybe close your eyes. Deep breaths in, crown of the head lengthens up. Deep breaths out, let it go. If it's too stressful, maybe sigh it out. Remember, let the stress go. And then come back to your Ujjayi pranayama breath. Big breath in, and big breath out. How does it feel in the feet? You're stretching them out. Breathe. Soften in the jaws, unclench your teeth, soften in the eyes, soften in the face. Breathe. Big breath in, big breath out. Let's come out of it, and let's counter it with an ankle pose. First thing, bring your arms around to the front. Wiggle your wrists, let them be. Interlace your fingers, squeeze your thumbs, squeeze your fingers, squeeze them all together deep down in the webbing. Turn your hands sideways, wiggle the wrists, do a sideways number 8 like the infinity sign. All right, we are coming out of toes pose. We're just taking a little bit longer. Thing is here, think about this for a minute. Your mind is on your hands, your mind is on your wrist, your mind is squeezing the fingers closer together. That's what you're thinking about. You're not thinking about the intensity in your toes until right now. So now let's really come out of it. Wiggle your fingers, be done. Come on out, grab your 2 blocks, come onto the tops of your feet. Wiggle them out from a neutral tabletop. Wiggle the toes, tap the toes out onto the mat. Tap them harder. Tap it like a drum roll for you, for doing your yoga. Circle the wrists or the ankles in one direction, then the other. Sit onto the tops of your feet. Bring your hips back to your heels. Using the blocks, press into the blocks. Let the knees come on up. And you're balancing on the tops of your feet. Hi, Esther, how are you? Hi, Tammy. Hi, Stan. Hi, Liz. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Rhonda. I'm going to move these blocks. You can push into your blocks, coming higher onto your toes. Hi, Karen. Or reach your fingers down to your mat. Let your knees come up higher and just kind of gently rock on the tops of your feet, allowing the ankles to be stretched in a way that is quite unusual, isn't it? You don't do this every day, only in your yoga, so come back to be able to do it. Hi, Margaret. Hi, Steve. Hi, Linda. Hi, Roger. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Tina. Hi, Rena. Hi, Tina. Hi, Rena. Hi, Tim. Hi, Marietta. How are you? All right, how are your ankles? Pretty good stretch, isn't it? All right, let's come back to a neutral tabletop for cat-cow. All right, neutral tabletop. What does that mean? You look like a tabletop. Wrists under the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Lengthen through the crown of your head and that tailbone. Remember your tailbone from puppy pose? Lengthen here. Lengthen. Push into the earth. Let's do cat-cow. Halloween cat. It's the month. Tuck your chin to your chest. Tuck your tailbone under. Arch your back up to the sky. Push into the earth. Inhale. Cow pose. Just the opposite. Crown of the head and tailbone lift. Continue your breath cycle, married with cat-cow. Exhale, cat. Arch out the belly, or arch the back. Hollow out the belly. There you go. Inhale, cow. Tailbone and crown of the head lift. Finish up in your cat-cow. Let's extend the right leg long. Press the ball of the foot into the mat. Push into the earth. Stretch out that long right leg. Let's cross it over the midline of the body. Lift the right leg up. Let it cross the midline of the body. Hug high in the upper inner thighs, top of the right foot. Bring it down to your mat on the left side of your body. Press hard into your hands and look over your left shoulder. Maybe you take the gaze to your left pinky, and maybe you bring it back a little further and you can look at your foot. Maybe you can bring it back even further and see your right knee. Or a little more over the shoulder, look to your bottom. Breathe. And then finish. Sweep that extended right leg all the way around to the right side of your room. Plant the sole of the foot, lift the right arm up to the sky, push into the earth, reach up to the sky and turn your neck. Turn your neck to look up to your fingers. Breathe. Finish. Arm floats down. Right leg goes back to meet the left. Let's do the other side. Left leg extends. Ball of the foot into the mat. Press into the earth. Press and drive that heel to the back of the room. You take this in layers. You take it as far as you like. If you want to stay right here, go ahead. If you'd like to lift the left leg up and cross the midline of the body, squeeze in the upper inner thighs, placing the top of the left foot down on the right side of your body. Push into the earth, look over your right shoulder, look back maybe to the foot, maybe to the knee, maybe to your bottom. You decide where you're looking. Push hard into the mat. Feel the goodness all up and down your left side. Time to sweep the left leg around. Bring it around as far as is right for you. Maybe try to bring it up to about hip height. Push into the earth. Right arm hard into the ground. Left arm lifts to the sky. Look up, up, up toward the fingers. Breathe. Find length in your left fingers. Find strength in your right hand. Breathe. Let the hand float down. Let the left knee come back to meet the right. Take a cycle of cat-cow just to feel good and loosen up a little bit more. Cat, cow, finish. All right, I'm going to grab a drink of water, have a seat, and let's get ready to do plank. We set a 1-minute timer just about every day when we do plank. It's only there for you if you like little measurement criteria. I do. You can measure your success. If you do it for 5 seconds, good for you, because maybe tomorrow you'll do it for 7, but you'll never get to that 7 if you don't cross through that threshold of the 5, right? Keep doing it, keep trying. All right, lots of ways to do plank. Which way do you want to do it today? Don't always do the same way, shake it up. All right, here's an idea. Knees spread wide, big toes can touch, hands come down to the mat. You can hinge your weight forward and press the weight into your hands. Maybe that is where you are today. It's a good place to be. Maybe you send the legs long and straight. You come down to your forearms, pressing your hands into the mat, having your elbow under your shoulder. Tuck your toes towards your shins. And maybe you stay right here. Weight is shifted forward into your forearms. Feel it in your belly. Maybe you press on up with straight legs and hold it here in a dolphin plank. Another option is a high plank. Arms are straight, shoulders over wrists, legs go long, hip width distance apart, and you press into the earth and you hold it here. I'm going to do a different variation today. You can join me if you like. I'm going to bring the arms down and I'm going to do knee taps. So a dolphin plank with knee taps. Maybe you want to try that. We're going to get ready, get set up the way you like. Alignment is important. Be nice and straight in joints aligned. All right, I'm going to come into a dolphin plank. I'm going to tuck my toes to my shins, and we are going to start a timer now. Here's your 1-minute timer. Hold here. I'm going to press on up to a dolphin plank. Breathe. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Lengthen through the crown of your head and through your heels. You've already done 10 seconds. Good on you. Take breaks when you need them. I'm going to dip one knee down and come back up and hold. You do whatever is right for you. You're over 20 seconds in. You've got this. Breathe. Lengthen. I'm going to dip the other knee down and bring it up. Now I'm going to alternate. One knee down, then the other. Breathe. Maybe bring both knees down and take a break. Guess what? You are 30 seconds in. You've got it. 30 seconds. Breathe. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Breathe. Stay strong. You've got only 15 seconds to go. Come on now, you can do it. Breathe. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. Drop down to your knees, grab a seat, maybe grab another drink. Congratulations. However long you did it, you did it. You did it more than somebody else sitting down on the sofa watching TV. Come on now, you did it. You're strong. Give yourself some credit. Believe in you. All right, time for some core stuff. We're gonna do boat. I'm gonna do boat on my forearms. If you wanna do boat a different way or with your strap, grab it and let's go. All right, so sit-ups. I'm gonna use the block for my Supta Baddha Konasana sit-ups today. You can if you want, you don't have to. All right, from your bottom, bend your knees. Place the pinky edge side of your foot onto the mat or onto the block. Hands to prayer center. Lengthen up here. Ooh, let those knees fall to the side of your mat. Feel it in your inner hips. It's pretty good. All right, come on back all the way down to a reclined position. I'm going to adjust my block. I'm just going to slip it up a little bit higher. Or maybe you slip it away, maybe a little bit lower. Hold it here. I've got the knees open, nice and wide. Soften in your backside. Soften in your glutes. Don't hold on to the stress. Let it go. Let the knees, imagine the knees floating a little bit closer to the earth. Or they can be on the ground. All right, fingertips lightly to your temples. Elbows open, nice and wide. When you're ready to take an exhale, peel the shoulders on up. Let the chin guide you up to the sky. Little teeny lifts and lowers. And you decide what you think about the block. Maybe you like it, something a little different. Maybe you want to do it more often or less often. Lift and lower, lift and lower. And if you do it with the block and you don't like it, just kick it away. Little lifts, little lowers. Let's hold it up for a second. Drive the elbows back even farther. Drive your chin up, up, up to the sky. Soften in your glutes. Knees are open wide, just like your elbows. Little pulses. Up, up, up. And then let's finish. Come on down with the shoulders. Remove the block. Just kick it aside. Hands lightly at your temples. Ready for bicycle. All right, your upper body's already ready for bike. All right, you can bend your knees. You can have the soles of your feet on your mat. You can peel your shoulders up. You can bring your left elbow towards your right knee, then the other direction. Little twists in the waist. Aren't you glad we warmed up with that twisting pose? And then, one elbow toward one knee, or one knee toward one elbow. What you could do too is keep your shoulders down and lift your knees up. Knees can be over your hips, shins parallel to the sky. Ride a recumbent bike. Drive through your heels. Or peel up the shoulders and work opposite knee to opposite elbow while the other leg extends. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Another option, legs extend long and you scissor kick them. You do what's good for you today. I'm gonna finish. Shoulders come down. Hug the knees in. Rock a little bit from side to side. Kind of a low back massage. And let's do boat pose next. All right, send your legs long. Arms down by your sides. Press on up. Maybe use your arms or just your strong core to pull you on up. Bend your elbows. Elbows under shoulders, arms, forearms pressed into your mat. Lift your legs on up to the sky. Breathe. You can lower them a little bit and hold. We do boat lots of different ways. Maybe lower them a little bit more and hold. And if you don't like it, you can put one leg down, then the other leg down, or lift them back up higher, or lift them a little bit lower. Hold. Stay lifted in your chest. Breathe. You got it. Hold on. Let's lift the legs up a little higher. Breathe. Hold it. You got it. Let's finish. Heels come down. Come up to seated. Grab your two blocks. Let's do a lunge, which is great for the psoas, the opening or the front part of your hip. And let's do it a little differently today. All right, so come on with your blocks. Come on up to standing on your knees. Take one block and place it at the top of your mat. The block is vertical because your foot's going to go right here. You're standing over your knees. Bring the right foot forward. Place the right foot onto the block. Don't have a block? Don't want to use a block? Totally fine. Move it. Get the block out of the way. All right, hands come down inside your right foot. Sounds like runner's lunge, doesn't it? Send the left leg long onto your mat. It's a little awkward feeling. Send the left leg long, bringing the top of the left foot onto the mat. You might want to use a block here, pushing your hand into it as you send the left leg longer. All right, I'm going to scoot the right block a little closer to my body, having the right foot on top of it. Then I'm going to bring the knee of the right leg right over the right ankle. Now you can stay right here, or you can lift on up, shoulders over your hips, left leg is long and straight. And if you don't like the block under the right foot, you can remove it. Totally fine. What I'm going to do is interlace my fingers, press my interlaced fingers and my palms into my right thigh, and I'm going to imagine like pushing the skin forward toward the knee. Gaze is forward, left leg is long and straight. I'm not going to do any more than this. I'm going to breathe through this nice and slowly, feeling what I feel in my left hip flexor. If it is painful, come out of it. Remove the block as a first step. Maybe hinge the shoulders more forward as a second step. Breathe. You decide what is good for you today. Now your tailbone. Think your spine is nice and straight, maybe. Think of sinking the tailbone lower to the earth. You got it. Strong, flexible, mobile. You got it. Push the right knee a little more forward, sliding the skin forward of the right thigh. Let's finish. Oh, that's intense. Slowly come back to standing on the left knee. Bring the right knee to meet the left. Let's get set up on the other side. How do you feel? That's pretty intense, isn't it? All right. Other foot comes onto that block. Knee over ankle as best you can. Send the right leg long and straight with the top of the right foot on the mat. You can use the block to help you get here. Maybe bring the block back a little bit to ensure that the knee is over the ankle. Nice and long in the opposite leg. Press on up. Use your block to a higher height maybe. Press on up to what feels good for you. Knee over ankle. Shoulders more over hips. That right leg is long and straight. Interlaced fingers press into the left thigh. Breathe. Find the sweet spot for you. Where does it feel really good, yet still a wee bit of a challenge? Breathe. Remember to breathe. Slide the skin on that left thigh forward, forward. You're pushing into it. Settle into your hips. Soften in your shoulders. Shoulders maybe a little bit back, more over the hips. Think of the tailbone going more toward the earth. That's a big cue that really helps me. Really settle into this even more. Breathe. Breathe. How are you doing? Focus. Just your breath. You got it. Your body's mobile. Maybe it hasn't been mobile for a while, but you can find it. You can come back. You can reclaim it. Yes, you can. All right. Let's finish. One more breath. Oh my goodness, that's intense. All right. When you're ready, bring your left knee to meet the right. Let's stretch it out a little bit by putting your hands on your low back. Look forward, look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet, squeeze your elbows together, a little bit of a gentle camel. Maybe look up, overhead, stretch it out evenly and equally in both hip flexors. Big breath in, big breath out. Let's do some balancing. Shoulders over your hips, one leg forward. Do that the other leg the first leg you thought of, try to do the other leg more forward. Press on up to a standing position. In this standing position, let's do a little bit of balancing. Let's start with half crescent moon. All right, to do that, feet are evenly planted on the earth. Lift both arms up to the sky. Stretch it out, and this has a name too. This is your extended mountain pose. Stretch it out. How do your hips feel? In fact, take a baby back bend. Open up. Fingertips back up to the sky. Half crescent moon, palms touch. You're rooted equally into your feet. No weight difference in one foot over the other. Lengthen up through your fingers and then lean to one side. Maybe I'm going to lean to the left. Chin away from your chest. Reach through your fingers. Reach. Both feet are equally planted. Both hips are equidistant to the front of the room, as are both shoulders. Bring your left shoulder back. Bring your chin away from your chest. Let your right arm come down the side of your leg. Reach through your left fingers. You know, that chair could be here. Totally fine. Reach, lengthen. Inhale. Exhale. As you exhale, maybe take it deeper. Inhale. Exhale, let it go, let it go, let it go. Big stretch all up the left side of your body. Soften in your glutes, make space there. Chin away from the chest, reach one more little effort. Now on your inhale, take it slowly. The real slowly is important. Lift it on back up to center. Let your palms meet. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften. Let's take it to the other side. Let your palms, your fingers, reach to the left side of your room. Same thing, chin away from your chest. Top shoulder, right shoulder back. Feet equally planted. Breathe. The bottom arm, the left arm, let it drop to the earth. Reach through the fingers. Soften in the glutes. Reach. Reach. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, reach. You got it. You got it. Slowly, slowly make it up, back up to the midline of your body. Come back to your extended mountain pose. Big breath in and big breath out. Hands to your low back. Elbows squeeze toward the spine. Look up, up, up. Press the hips forward. Back bend as much as is right for you. Exhale, forward. Hinge forward. Maybe you found on that back bend you could go farther than you thought because the front of your hips are nice and loose. Little bend in your knees, arms hang down toward the earth. Let it go, let it go, let it go. All right, another new challenge. Take your blocks, your 2 blocks, stand on them. Hinge forward. Hinge forward. Your hands are reaching toward the earth. Little bend in your knees. Maybe, you've added about 3 inches here. Maybe let your hands come toward the earth. Can they make it? Big inhale, big exhale. Fold forward. Your gaze is back towards your knees. You're folded in half. Oh, the ground's a little farther away thanks to those blocks. Let's see what you can do. Big breath in. Spine is long. Big breath out, tailbone up toward the sky. Gaze back toward your knees. Fingers, are they touching the earth? Almost, sort of, maybe, it's okay. Let's finish. Hands back to a natural position. Step off your blocks. Sweep your arms up. Come on up to an extended mountain pose. Lengthen up and let go. Bring your hands to prayer center. Let's do tree pose. You know lots of ways to do it. Have your chair nearby. You can have your block, and you could be standing 1 foot on the block. I'm going to be on the ground. I'm going to lift my right knee, turn my right knee to the side of the room. Sole of the right foot can come inside the left heel. You can kind of just hang out here. You can lift it a little higher, or higher still. Just don't put it on the knee. Or you can lift it way high up into the thigh. You decide where you want to be. Chair, remember, that's a great balance. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's not a sign of weakness to use the props or an aid. It's helping you get into it, right? So as you'll see, there's no change here if you got a chair. So be kind to you. Drive the outside of the right knee more toward the back of the room. hips equal distant to the front, hands to first center, lengthen up through the crown of your head, and breathe. I'm going to keep my hands at first center today, but another option is to grow your branches. You can grow them and sway them. You can look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. I'm going to focus more on my lower body. I'm going to focus here, hands to first center, lengthening up through the crown of my head and my shoulders, just finding my balance in my solid left foot, engaging those little micro wiggles in the foot. Everybody's got them. Everybody's about to fall out, right? But you stay. And if you do fall out, you get right back in. Nobody's perfect. Nobody can do it forever, and everybody falls out. So cut yourself some slack. If you fall out 5 times, getting back in 5 times is the key to a successful yoga pose, right? All right, breathe. Hold it. You can balance a long time on one foot. In fact, this week, as you brush your teeth, try to balance on one foot, then the other. Equal time, right? Balance. All right, let's finish. Right knee to the front of the room. Right foot meets left. We got another side to do. Root into your feet. Root into your right foot. Open up the left knee. Place the foot wherever you like it to be. And if it's kickstand, good on you. If you kickstand it, maybe you got the chair, maybe no chair. Maybe kickstand it, and here's another challenge for you. Put the foot wherever you like, just not on the knee. If you're kickstanding, here's your challenge. Maybe with hands at first center, shoulders over hips, look up to where your ceiling and wall meet, and try to take a long blink. Or 2, try to close the eyes for a little bit longer. That's plenty of a challenge. So all the different levels of your tree, however you take it, maybe growing the branches and swaying the branches. Any way you take it, you can find plenty of challenges. Closing the eyes is a big one. Breathe. Push the foot into the leg and the leg into the foot. That's always a good tip. That really helps. But think about this. Your leg is strong. Your body is strong. As you do your yoga, you're building bone density. You're doing all kinds of good things. I can't find anything bad about yoga. Look online, read articles. And I post articles too often in our private group on Facebook. It's called Friends of 316 Yoga. Check it out. Ask to join. I'll include you, and you can read some good articles. Now, you know another tip that helps? Put a little softness in that standing knee. I fell out. No big deal. I'm going to get back in. Put a little bit of softness in your standing knee. Breathe. You got this. And when you're ready, let's get out. Bring the knee to the front of the room. Left foot meets right. Good job. Let's do You Will Look Taller. Legs are zipped up. Arms lift up high. Think of the letters of each of the words. You will look taller. This is a physical therapy pose. Bring your body into the letter Y, like YMCA. Press the backs of your hands to the back of the room. Your body's like the big letter Y. Breathe. Think of the strength in your spine. Think of working all those muscles right now in the upper back. Think of squeezing those muscles towards your spine to give you good posture. You. Fingers. Wiggle them. Then send the backs of your hands to the back of the room. You will slip your arms down so your elbows are toward the earth. Your arm looks like a big letter W. Squeeze the backs of the hands to the back of the room. You kind of feel this more, a little bit lower in your mid-back. Now let's work on down. Bring your elbows in towards your waist. That's an awkward feeling for me. Bring your forearms parallel to the earth. Hug the elbows in. L for look. Feel that strength. Now let's tee out the arms like the letter T for taller. Pulse the backs of your hands to the back of the room. Breathe. Let's do it again a little bit faster. Big letter Y. Big letter W. Big letters L, forward and back. And one big T. Pulse it out. Finish up. Let your arms float down by your sides. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Soften up through your shoulders. Bring them back and down. Think of how good your posture is right now in this moment. Good job. Let's do another balancing pose. All right, hands on your hips to begin, or have a chair nearby. Step forward with your right foot. With the right foot stepping forward, left leg back. Your legs are kind of like in a pyramid shape, all 10 toes pointing forward. Let's hinge the weight forward into the right foot. Maybe you come onto the balls of your back left foot. If you're doing that and staying there, just feel the intensity of the stretch in the foot. That's fine. Maybe hinge the weight forward, little bend in your knee. Left leg lifts a little bit. Remember, your chair can be wherever gives you good balance. Hips equidistant to your mat. Left leg lifts higher, higher, higher. Lift it higher, higher, higher. Breathe. Hold it right here. And when you're ready, let's switch it out. Bring your left foot to meet your right. Step the right leg back. Pyramid in the legs. Hinge the weight forward into the left foot. Maybe you're on the ball of the right foot, and that's where you stay. You are still balancing and impressing me. Come on now, you got it. All right, hinge forward a little bit, bringing the crown of the head more to the front of the room. A little bit of love and flexibility in the left front knee. Right leg lifts a little high, a little higher, maybe higher still. Lift it up. Hands are on your hips. You're nice and stable. We'll take this to a warrior 3 variation tomorrow. Right leg lifts a little higher. Lengthen through the right leg. You got it. Finish up. Right leg meets left. Good balancing. You got it. All right, another tough pose for balance. Let's take our arms high up to the sky. Let's bring our hands to prayer center. Let's lift our right leg up, 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 knee to about hip height. Take your hands, interlace your fingers beneath the right knee and hug it in. Hold it here. Breathe. You got it. All right, place the right foot down. When you're ready, lift the left leg up. Interlaced fingers beneath the right knee. Hug it in. Hold it. Elbows hugged in. You got it. Both feet come down. Both knees bend. Bend in the knees. Let's do a standing figure 4. All right. Sink a little lower. Get your balance going here. Root into your left leg. Lift your right leg. Bring the outside of the right ankle onto the left thigh. So there's your number 4 in your legs. Sit back. Sit down, feel the big stretch in your backside. Now you can hold on to your foot. You can bring your hands to prayer center, sink a little lower. Maybe look down to your left foot. Maybe look to your left knee and sink a little lower. Maybe, all these are maybes, take them to what's right for you. Release the hands from each other. Reach them around to your back, interlace them back here. Interlaced fingers, let them walk up the back wall and hold. Finish, hands back to prayer center. Right foot releases to meet the left. Sink low here, even out. Other side. Root into your right foot. Lift your left leg up. Maybe that's where you stay. Maybe you lift the foot up, cross it over the left thigh. Sink a little lower. Maybe you hold on to the foot and you stay right here. Maybe hands come to prayer center and you sink a little bit lower in your backside. Loving on your hips, right? Stay right here, or hands float to behind your low back. Then the interlaced fingers kind of walk up your back wall as you look down to your foot or your knee. Breathe. Finish. Hands come back to prayer center. Left foot meets right. Little sinking down here in your chair pose. Hold on. Big breath in. And big breath out. Straighten through the legs. Fold in half. Capture your calves. Fold in half. Little bend in your knees. You got it. And then come on down to your mat. Legs go long on your mat. Take your block. Place it underneath your feet, as if you were standing on that block. Lift your arms high up to the sky. Exhale, hinge forward with parallel arms. Reach, reach, reach through your fingers. Now capture what you can capture. Maybe it's your calves, but keep your gaze forward. Maybe you can capture your ankles. Maybe you can capture that block. A little more of a challenge. Reach, put a little loving bend in your knees. Reach, you got it. Big breath in, big breath out. Now send your gaze down towards your knees. Nice big fold here. Let's finish. Remove the block. Come on back all the way down to your back. Now, bring your eye shade or your towel and your block. All right, bend your knees, come on down to a bridge pose. Soles of your feet, press them on up to the sky. Press your hips on up, slip the block underneath your low back, really low on your back. It can be at the medium height or the stable height. Let your low back rest on the block here. So the idea is you want your spine to kind of hang off that block. Maybe lift a foot up, then the other foot, just so you can feel what it feels like to have all the weight on the block. Breathe. Let's press into your feet. Lift up off the block. Place the block at a stable height. Now bring your whole body on down to the block. Find where it feels right, and then send your legs long for your pontoon pose, stretching out the front of your hip flexors. Breathe here, arms down by your sides. Big breath in, big breath out, let it go. Bend your knees, soles of the feet on your mat. Press your hips on up, all the way up to a bridge pose. Remove the block. Slowly lower your spine all the way down, one vertebra at a time. Send your left leg long on your mat. Heel drives to the bottom of your mat. Feel the length there. Bend your right knee with interlaced fingers or with your towel. Place it under your right knee and hug your right knee in. We're going to do a supine twist. Another option is to interlace your fingers and hug the knee in. With the left hand, guide the right knee across the midline of your body, rolling onto your left hip. You're stacking your hips now. Tee out your right arm, helps you keep your shoulder down, and look to the right as best you can. Maybe you turn your head a little bit more. You turn it as best you can today. Right hip comes down, right knee gets hugged in again. Maybe you've reintroduced that towel, hug it in. Left heel is still driven toward the bottom of the room. Release, right leg goes long. Repeat on the other side. Drive the right heel to the bottom of the room. Feel it in your right leg, nice and long and straight. Left knee bends, interlaced fingers, hug the left knee in. Shoulders are down on your mat. Roll onto the right hip. Right hand takes the left knee, crosses the midline, shoulders stay down. That feels intense. Look up to the sky. Maybe tee out the left arm. Maybe look to the left side of your room. Maybe look even farther to the left side of your room. Breathe. When you're ready, left hip comes down. Hug the knee, left knee in. Right heel still driven to the back of the bottom of your mat. Left leg goes long. Drive both heels to the bottom of your mat. How do you do that? Draw your toes towards your shins. Reach your arms high up overhead. Reach, stretch. You got it. Let's come into a final Shavasana pose. All right, so let's get there via happy baby. Bend your knees. Left hand captures left knee, right hand captures right knee. Rock a little bit from side to side. Rock a little bit, let it feel good. Maybe let both knees come to one side of the room, then the other. Roll on your back. Maybe draw little circles with your knees on the ceiling. How does that feel in your low back? Last little option, happy baby. Plant your tailbone on your mat, hands to your inner calves, or capture your heels. Hot Piper is in one leg high to the sky. Bend the knee, send the other leg high to the sky. Alternate. Once you do the first happy baby with one leg extended and one leg bent, it gets way easier. At least it does for me. What do you think? Let me know. All right, one leg high, other leg bent. Finish. Both legs high. Open up the legs. You got your hands on your calves or your ankles. Let the pinky toes kind of come closer to the earth. A big letter V in your legs. Why not? And then finish up. Let your knees meet at the midline. Put a bend in the knees, bringing the feet down. Now, final Shavasana. No more tricks, just treats. All right, legs are long, heels toward the bottom of your mat. Cover your eye with your towel or your eye shade, or place something under your neck, the curve of your neck, that little mouse hole under your neck. Maybe that feels good to place something there. Arms long and down by your sides. Eyes closed. Let it all go. That's the hard part, letting it all go. Because thoughts are going to start to race back into your head. Keep them away for just a little bit longer. You're focusing on making your body better, and your mind, and your spirit. Let the pinky toes fall toward the earth. Let the shoulders wiggle, maybe closer to the spine if that feels good. Shoulders away from your ears. Breath. Deep. Slow. Strong. Yet at peace. Soften the area between your eyebrows. I think that's a good cue too. I always need that one. And just breathe. Feel the strength of your breath as your chest rises up to the sky when you take a big inhale. And as you take a slow exhale, feel the goodness of the softness permeating your shoulders, your back, even the eyes in their eye sockets. Soft, no tension. Breathe. Deep breath in and deep, slow breath out. Maybe you'd like to stay here longer. If this is speaking to you, stay as long as you like. If it's time for you to conclude your hour, start to wiggle your fingers and toes just a little bit, feeling what just a little bit of motion does. And then make the motion larger. Move the fingers and toes. Move the wrists and the ankles in all kinds of different ways. Even move your thumb independently and separately. Point the toes, flex the toes, feel it move up your leg, your calves, let it feel good. On an inhale, reach high up overhead, point your toes long and stretch like it's the first stretch before you get out of bed in the morning. Reach one arm higher to the top of your mat, then reach the other arm higher to the top of your mat. Feel your hips accommodate this movement. Finish up. Come back to the midline of your body. Bring your hands on down by your sides, your knees bend, and roll into a fetal position. Low arms, bicep is a pillow for your head. Top shoulder relaxes. Take a deep breath in and a big sighing breath out. No tension there. The last little bits you let go. Slowly press on up to a comfortable seated position, whatever is comfortable for you. Maybe legs long, maybe crisscross. You decide. What do you want to do? We are done. All right, so bring your hands to prayer center. Lengthen up through your spine. As you exhale, soften in the shoulders and let it all go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. All right, blink your eyes open. You did it. You did an hour-long yoga practice. You know, the thing is, when you start, you think, oh my gosh, an hour's a long time. But it goes by fast, doesn't it? Because it feels so good. All right, go back to that number you took in the beginning, that stress number, that little measurement criteria. What was it, and what is it now? How do you feel in your hips? We did a lot with the hips today. I hope as you go on with your day, you can think back and say, hey, my yoga made this day a better day. It really does. Come back tomorrow. Check us out. As you go on with your day, remember the fruits of the Spirit. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. May you have them all in abundance. Love you guys. It's a good week. We're off to a good start. Keep the energy going. See you tomorrow. Bye. Hey, hi. Oh, you're full of energy. Yes, you are. Good girl. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Tell your friends about us. Come do yoga. Bye.
You good girls. Good girls.
You get to make a choice. And the choice is, do you want to take a chance? And you got to take that chance to make anything change. I'm glad that you're changing your body for the better with 316 Yoga. Thanks for hanging around. Thanks for staying here till the end. And thanks for enjoying your practice each and every single day. Tell your friends about our practice. Tell your friends that our practice is free, because it's free for anybody and everybody. And we'd love to see our numbers grow. If you'd like to support our broadcast, you can visit our website. It's at www.316yoga.com. See you on your mat tomorrow. Make the right choice. See you there. Bye.